Welcome back to LPS Chopped. Previously, Daphne Williams, a fellow contestant, was on the chopping block, therefore sent home. Our remaining contestants are Rhonda James, Cassandra Cool, and Chris Franklin. In this episode, these three remaining contestants shall compete to make a dish that will prevent them from appearing on the chopping block and being sent home for the rest of the season. We of course have our usual judges, and it's about time to pull out the ingredients. Chefs, in this episode, you'll be using not 3, but 4 ingredients in your dish. Your ingredients are milk, cookies, chocolate, and ice cream. Contestants, you have 60 minutes to turn these ingredients into a pleasant dish to please your judges. Your time starts now. These ingredients are pretty weird. Plus, we have 4 instead of 3. I'm a little nervous about this. The ice cream was just kind of in my way, so I decided to take it. I put it in the food processor to kind of mix it and give it a texture instead of it being just one big old cone with ice cream. And once I returned to my station, I really wanted to do something with the chocolate and the cookies. But first, I wanted to give the cookie a nice texture, so I took it out of my station and I dropped it into the fryer. Next, I knew exactly what to do with my milk, so I went to the freezer to grab the cream once again. So after I did that, I decided to actually churn the cream into butter and then churn the milk into cream. So I took a small bit out of the cream bottle and I put that portion of the cream into the food processor for it to churn into butter while I returned the big bottle of cream to the freezer. Next, I decided to churn my milk into cream, and I'm sure you're wondering, like, why are you doing that? Just grab the cream out of the freezer. But you'll see, I've got the greatest idea ever. What on earth to do? I really had to think about this one. I mean, I seriously could have gotten chopped because of a little soda incident. And, I mean, we're working with 4 ingredients now. 4! I was sweating bullets and pretty much panicked. So I just went right away with the cookie and decided to pop it into the oven. I didn't exactly know what I was doing, but I just knew that it was going to have to work out some way. After that, I decided to actually mix my chocolate and my ice cream together. So what I did with the ice cream is I took it to the oven to warm it up and melt the ice cream. So I let that and my cookie sit in the oven for a little while. And then I went back to my station and just poured the milk completely onto my chocolate. I really did not know what I was doing, but I knew it was going to have to work one way or another. And after that, I just threw away the empty carton. I had a great idea for my dish. So I took my milk and I also took my ice cream with it. And I knew that both were dairy, and I also had milk chocolate, so obviously you needed milk to make that too. And then I had the cookie remaining, but I had a good idea for what I was going to do with that later. So I just put everything but the milk into the stove, and then afterwards I just poured all my milk onto them to see what would happen. And after that I just threw my bottle away. And after that, I had to return to my station until they cooked. I went back to see if my ice cream was done processing because it'd been about 20 minutes. But it still wasn't quite done. And I was so disappointed because I had such a great idea for this. It looks like I had just put it into the processor, even though I had done so about 20 minutes ago. I was really starting to worry. Luckily, when I went to go check on my cookie, it was completely done and fried. So I took the crispy and fresh cookie back to my station. After that, I got the marvelous idea of chopping up my cookie into little pieces. But first, I kind of wanted to roll it out a bit more flat because my cookie was a little bit thick. So I grabbed a rolling pin and started going at it. But after a while, oh no, I rolled it out too much. Now there was nothing to do to fix it. My cookie was now way too thin and flat, and I just couldn't live with that. What am I going to do, I wondered. Then I realized that I would just have to go with it. And I didn't want to chop it up into pieces either because the pieces would be way too small and thin. I decided to go check on my chocolates and see how they were doing, and I also wanted to see what the milk did with them. But strangely enough, instead of some kind of chocolatey, delicious swirl, I got huge blue, turquoise, aqua kind of chunks, and they had an awful texture to them. Oh my dog, what am I gonna do? I had no choice. I just brought them back to my station. But in the process, I dropped the cookie on the floor. I could not believe the huge mess I was in. First, I tried to chop up the cookie into pieces, but it kept falling off the table. It was getting worse and worse and dirtier and dirtier. I decided I'd just chop it up on the ground with my bare paws. I was so distracted by those giant blue butt cheeks that I completely forgot about my ingredients in the oven. And when I got there, the result was not pretty. My cookie and ice cream were all burnt and shriveled up, but I had to take them back to my station. There was nothing I could do about it. Well, I had my dish, and I had nothing to do, including nothing to do about my cookie and ice cream. I finally remembered the ice cream in the food processor and hoped that it was done. But it still wasn't. It looked exactly the same. I finally came to the conclusion that ice cream just would not work in the food processor, and I had nothing to do with it. Finally, I just took it out of the food processor and took it back to my station. And as soon as I got back to my station, I remembered the fraction of the cream that I put in the food processor to turn into butter. And unfortunately for me, my butter was all big and swollen as if, and looked like it was about to explode. I quickly got back to my station, and then, your milk. But it wasn't just the milk. It was also the butter and the ice cream. They'd all dropped onto the floor. Uh-oh. Good luck fixing that, dude. Yeah, thanks. Finally, I had enough. The milk was churned into cream, all right, and I smothered my butter, my ice cream, and my chocolate and smushed cookie completely in cream until the container was absolutely empty. I didn't even bother throwing away the carton because I was so mad. Everything had fallen onto the floor, and everything was soiled and ruined. Finally, I plopped everything into the fryer. And I just waited and huffed and puffed like the big bad wolf. I finally finished chopping up my cookie into little pieces. I decided that I would just smush the little blue chunks together. I finished with only 5 seconds remaining and quickly put my little cookie pieces into the mixture. There are only seconds left, and the fryer still isn't done. I've got nothing. Suddenly I start to hear a sound, and I start hearing the same sound, and it's coming from the fryer. Uh-oh, brace for impact! Time's up. What happened in there? Sir, what is going on back there? Mr. Franklin, is this your dish in the fryer? It was. Inside is the most disgusting, the most gross, the gunkiest little masterpiece, if you want to call it, texture that I've ever seen in my life. It looks like yellow mustard, but worse. Mr. Franklin, why don't you take a portion of that marvelous dish of yours and bring it out to feed the judges? Oh, my dog. And now it's finally time for the judges to do the talking. If Rhonda James could please report to the judging table. Hello, judges. I call this dish messy. I hope you enjoy. Okay. Wow. Well, I mean, the cookie parts are a bit scrumptious, but you know, everything else, I mean, it's all just a bit all over the place, you know? Agreed. Your name definitely suits it well. It is indeed messy. To be honest, I really don't like how anything tastes. I mean, the cookie crumbs are okay, but they taste like dirt or something. Yeah, I did actually drop them on the ground. Well, thank you for your dish. Right, thank you. Are you kidding me? They didn't have one good thing to say about my dish. I mean, I'm definitely going to get chopped. If Cassandra Cool could please report to the judging table. Hi, I bring you shriveled up and crying. I hope you enjoy. Oh, well, I understand what you mean by shriveled up, as I can see with the cookie and ice cream. Yes, but the brownie does taste absolutely excellent, Miss Cool. Indeed, I really like how it tastes. I mean, it is very actually kind of milky. I mean, I'm assuming that you poured the milk into it. And it makes for a very nice taste, actually. Oh, wait, thank you. However, with the cookie and the ice cream, how burnt they are, you know, they're not necessarily the most pleasant taste. Agreed. You could have left them in the oven or the stove or wherever you put them for too long. Right, the oven. Thank you. I mean, I'm proud about what they said about the brownie, but I really don't know if that's enough to keep me going. If Chris Franklin could please report to the judging table. I'm assuming the coughing means you guys already hate it. Hey, I don't blame you. I named this disaster. Hope you enjoy even though you won't. Oh my goodness, that is salted! Oh my goodness, that is salted!
Oh my goodness, that is salted!
Whoa! Whoa! Disaster indeed, Mr. Franklin. What on earth happened? I heard from Jim that this exploded or whatever. Okay, look, it's not my fault. You see, I put the ice cream in the food processor, but the food processor wouldn't process the food. So I had nothing done with the ice cream, so I just took it back to my station. And I decided to turn the cream into butter and to turn the milk into cream. But the butter turned out all big and bulky and looked as if it were about to explode. So I took it back to my station and then dropped everything except for the chocolate and the cookie that I rolled out with a rolling pin. And then it turned out really flat and thin and disgusting. And then I threw the entire mixture into the fryer while pouring cream into it. And you got this. I didn't dare even smell it. Please leave. It's just way too salty and the butter definitely overpowers the entire thing. And putting the cream in there did not help. Sorry, Franklin. You can just call me Chris. Or Chopped. That's another thing you can call me. Chopped! Ladies and gentlemen, judges and contestants, we are now at the chopping block. Whoever's dish is underneath this table, aka the chopping block, will be sent home for the entire season. Who is on the chopping block? Who will be going home? Let's find out. Not a surprise. I'm sorry, everyone. Wait, really, after what you told us about what you were doing in your dish that caused this, I actually think you were doing a great job with your creativity and imagination. Huh? She's right, Christopher. You actually did a really great job with the creativity. I think if you just tried a little harder, then it wouldn't turn out as this disaster. Literally, that's what you named it. Thanks, guys. I hope to come back soon. And we hope to see you soon. See you later, Chris. Goodbye, Jim. Daphne James and Cassandra Cool. You two are our remaining contestants for the season. The next episode will be the finale of this season of LPS Chopped. Who will win? Who will lose? And who will take home the grand prize of $100,000 and a free t-shirt? Find out in the next episode.